Ladies and gentlemen, one of the questions I've been asked quite a bit lately is how can I farm legendary heroes? So this little video is going to basically be a guide on how to accrue legendary fragments quicker, the best way to maximise them, and explain the difference between what are technically two pools of legendary heroes. This applies for Epic as well. But there are only certain heroes you can get from Helix Rift events, and there's only certain heroes you can get from the daily from cubes, daily selections, and legacy. So I'm going to break this all down for you because it can get quite confusing, and there is no just one straightforward answer. So we're going to dive into this now, and the first thing I'm going to say is you can get any sync bonus hero regardless of what pool they technically fall in, when they're a sync bonus hero. So you can go to these cubes here. Altair and Cassandra are the sync bonus heroes for the legendaries. Claudia and Rosa for the epics. Now this is a good example. You can only get Claudia in game by completing the achievements in the game. But when she is a featured sync bonus hero, you can then get her in these cubes. So this is the easiest way to get them, because if they're featured hero, sync bonus hero, you can get them, not a problem. The drop rates aren't great though. Just, you know, you've got 16.5% chance to get a legendary. When Altair first came in these, I went in to get them, didn't get a single legendary drop. So, you know, they are quite pricey. They're about 25 quid for a pack of 10. So if you've got the exposable income to do that, or the credits burning a massive hole in your pocket, then this is not a bad way of getting your epics and your legendary fragments a lot quicker. But for everybody else who obviously isn't spending on the game, there are a few different ways of getting heroes. Now, as I said, there's two different pools. We'll go into the first pool. These heroes are only available in the cubes that you get for your DNA tokens or for 200 credits, legacy missions, and the daily selection. Now I think Ezio used to be in one of the Helix Rift events, but I don't think they do that Helix Rift event anymore. But these heroes you will only get from these cubes, legacy missions, and the daily selection. So now a good way of farming these is getting all your other heroes to 5-star, because what that does is that converts into DNA access fragment. If we go to the daily selection here, you can buy them. So you can see I've got 63,000 DNA fragments converted. They only cost a little bit, and what happens is if I refresh this, I only need two legendaries at 5-star from this pool, and that is Rodrigo and Jara. So if I refresh this, there's Jara. It will not offer me Jean, it will not offer me Ezio. So the quicker you can get them maxed out, or a 5-star maxed out legendary, it will never ever give you the opportunity to buy them fragments again. So you're not going to log in and have a day wasted because you've already got that hero at 5-star. It'll only offer you fragments for heroes you need to continue ranking up. So I'm going to pick this up. That's her. So I'm now up to 121. 9 more of them. I'll have her maxed out, and then once she's maxed out, every day that I log in, it'll be Rodrigo there and no one else. So that's a very good and quick way of doing it. Obviously, by maxing out your heroes, get more DNA fragments to convert, and that just allows you to buy them basically every day that they appear in the shop. You've got the legacy mission as well. Not every hero has its own legacy mission. So anyone who's familiar with the legacy mission, you've got a high drop and a low drop. Luckily enough, Jean's got a high drop mission, but Ezio, Jara, and Rodrigo don't. So the only way to get them, I think Jean might be another one as well. Yes, and Maria. So there's quite a few that don't have a high drop. But if you just continue to do these over and over and over again, you'll eventually get the low drops. And if you are pulling a hero that you've already pulled, you can at least convert them fragments into things you can spend in the daily selections. So that's one good way of doing it. Right, now over to pool 2, and that is the Helix Rift events. Now, there, as I said, you can see heroes here like Najma, Bayak, Alexius, Altair, Isaac, Cassandra. They weren't in them cubes. The only way you can get these heroes is either by the DNA cubes I showed you if they're sync bonus heroes, or by placing or progressing through a Helix Rift event. Now, people like Darius and Al-Mulim, you get him ranked and placement rewards, but some of them you may only get one of one hero and one of other for different things. So for example, just as well, we might as well say Altair and Maria Thorpe are the ones for the Altair event. So for ranking you get Altair, and for progression you get Maria. So you can only accrue as many Maria fragments as that progression bar lets you for that Helix Rift event. And obviously you can only get X amount of Altair fragments for coming first or second or third. So you kind of have to max out what you can during the event, and that is one quick way of doing it. So yeah, just having to wait for these events to come round, maximising your score, maximising the fragments you get will be the quicker way of getting them to a 5-star. Now there is one other way, and that is there's hero specific cubes. Now as you notice, I think it was the last one we had the Ezio cube. Now you'd do your missions, you'd get fragments, and then you could open an Ezio cube. Altair, no, not Altair, Ezio, Luciano, Alvaro, and I'm sure there's one more I'm forgetting, but they all have their own cubes. So even though it is part of the Helix Rift event, you can still farm them by opening these cubes. And then obviously there are some Byac ones, Kensi ones, Alexis ones, which are the other side. You do get a chance when opening these cubes to pull another type of hero. So for example, in the Ezio one that's just gone, you'd get 2 guaranteed drops of Ezio, and then for the 3rd drop you could possibly get an epic hero that is featured in the Helix Rift event. So either Kensi, Horatio, Cavano, Perini, people like that. So that's a bit hit and miss, but it is also another good way of maxing out your fragments. If you've got Alexius 5 stars, you go through the democracy, get a decent placement, and you've got quite a lot of Alexius cubes to open. You open all them, convert all that excess DNA fragments, and there you can go a bit crazy in the store, maxing out your heroes. So yeah, as I said, it's a little bit complicated. It's not just like opening a pack and you getting this hero, that hero. You can only acquire them by certain areas. So as I said, make sure you max out your heroes. That's the easiest way to do it. But just grind. That is one way of doing it. You can grind your legacy missions. You can make them priority if you want your hero fragments to do that. Just save your energy up, pull through them, rush them. Just make sure you complete everyone every day, and that will make it a hell of a lot quicker. I really hope this video helps explain exactly what it does, exactly what the difference between them are, and yeah, I really hope it has helped. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day and look after yourself.